welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you join me today. We've had such a peaceful several weeks as things have really slowed down here on the homestead. Maintenance is less and less necessary with the lawn and with the garden, but the produce is abundant and it's been really fun to harvest almost every day and preserve our food by pickling and fermenting and drying herbs, as well as using our food in zucchini bread or making fresh salads and roasted fresh vegetables each day. We are really enjoying the last few weeks of summer break and just taking advantage of the flexibility and freedom we have before school gets going in the next couple of weeks. It's so funny how quickly I fall out of the mood of filming all the things I cook. It's so funny. I get so inspired and I'll film all these things and then I'm over it and I go back to just being in the moment and not worrying about the camera rolling. So last night I made some incredible marinara sauce with some spaghetti and some amazing meatballs, and I made a chickpea salad with some tomatoes and cucumbers from my garden, some feta cheese, some red onion, some red olives, and it was just delicious. And it wasn't just thrown together, it was like a great marinara sauce and a great meatball recipe. And now I'm making some focaccia sourdough. I have it rising. My plan is to bake that tomorrow and to have bruschetta. I've got a bunch of tomatoes from the garden, so I'll make some bruschetta with the focaccia bread. I also have this rosemary infused avocado oil. Usually you would think of olive oil, but let me tell you, my friend made some rosemary infused avocado oil and I was blown away. I didn't know it was avocado oil. I was just eating it with bread and I thought, I'm making this today. There's nothing to this. You just put rosemary in it. Well, I did olive oil. And the next day I tasted it and I was like, it doesn't taste like yours. And she said, send me a picture. So she said, put way more rosemary in there. So I went out to the garden, I crammed the thing with way more rosemary. The next day, still didn't taste the same. So I was like, listen, there's a disconnect here. My rosemary is strong and delicious and fragrant. Why is it not infusing into this olive oil the way yours was? And she's like, oh no, I used avocado oil. I'm like, what? So I'm super excited to taste it because I love olive oil. I put olive oil on everything. I grew up on olive oil. That is like my oil of choice. My whole life, eggs were fried in olive oil. Only after I got married did I start switching to butter to fry eggs. We have fried eggs in olive oil my entire life. We have put olive oil over our rice and beans, over our picadillo, for sauteing onions and garlic and peppers as our sofrito. My whole life, it is like a staple in the kitchen and I get it by the gallon. I always have it right there, ready to use. It's already like only that much left. And I have a gallon jug in the pantry that I refill it all the time. So I love olive oil, but that avocado oil with the rosemary blew me away. So very excited to taste that oil tomorrow with the focaccia bread, sourdough focaccia. And I'm gonna make bruschetta and I'm going to the store today and I'm gonna get some hard salamis and I've got milk. I was thinking of either making mozzarella or buying mozzarella. I'll see what I'm feeling. If I'm in the mood, I'll make some mozzarella and we can have some delicious focaccia bread with oil of bruschetta, salami, mozzarella slices, and just feel so fresh and summery. It's definitely a favorite kind of lunch in the summertime, especially Saturdays, because those are the days we go to the farmer's market and get all the fresh ingredients. So when you come home, you just want to use them all up, you know? Okay, so I was in the mood, so I went ahead and made mozzarella today, and I wanted to show you the process. It's a fantastic beginner cheese, so I highly encourage you to try it. It's really fun and relaxing, and it's delicious. Before I get started, though, I am skimming some of this delicious cream off of my milk so that I can use it for my coffee in the mornings. It is just so rich and creamy. I love a good cup of coffee with lots of cream. Then I'm putting about a gallon of milk into a pot, and I'm gonna slowly heat it up to 100 degrees. I did go over this time. It went a little bit closer to 110, but that's not a big deal. But I will say sometimes that ruins it. So it's important to try to stay at 100. I'm thankful that even though it went over 100 today, it did not ruin the outcome. This is the recipe I follow. It's simple, a gallon of milk, and you add citric acid, heat to 100, then add some animal rennet. I prefer the liquid one. It's just easier to distribute throughout the liquid milk. But I always dissolve the citric acid into some water before I add it in, and I do the same for the animal rennet. It just makes it even easier to make sure it's being well distributed throughout the milk. So now that our milk is in the pot, it's starting to heat up. We're putting the citric acid in right away. We don't have to wait for it to get to 100 degrees. And you'll gently stir this in and allow the milk to slowly heat to 100. Now that our milk is at the desired temperature, I am diluting some animal rennet with some water so that I can add that to our milk. So for this recipe, I use a 1/4 teaspoon, and I just add a little water to it, mix it up, and slowly pour it into the milk, and again gently stir it in, and you'll see the chemical reaction occur almost immediately. The milk starts to curd. It's so fun. I did move my pot completely off of the burner it was on to ensure that it doesn't continue to increase in heat. And now you're going to cover it and leave it there for 10 minutes to allow the curd to really come together. While that's happening, I am warming up some water in a pot because I'll use this hot water for stretching my mozzarella. I just wanted to show you guys I'm listening to this incredible soundtrack, Becoming Jane. It's so beautiful as I make my mozzarella. I invested in muslin several years ago for yogurt making, but I have found that it's been very useful in cheese making as well and in butter making. So if you don't have any, I highly recommend it. It's a way better than cheesecloth that you can get at the grocery store. I will post the link for the ones I have in the description below. Now that our milk has been sitting for 10 minutes, you see how the curd has just come together on the top, and so we want to break it up a little. I always just cut it so that it's easier to stir, and you'll warm it up a little bit to about 110 degrees, which honestly mine is already at 110 degrees, so I didn't really have to heat it up much more, but I still went through the process of breaking it up because it's easier to handle. Now we're going to pour in the cheese curd and the whey directly into that strainer that I have set up in the sink that I lined with muslin to separate the curds and whey. You don't have to squeeze hard the liquid. I'm just allowing the liquid time to slowly strain through the muslin. I'm trying to get as much removed as possible so I can handle the curd more easily. And just kind of, once there's a lot of liquid out, then I'll squeeze it a little bit so that the curd will come together to a more easy to handle ball. And now I'm gonna break it in half and put it into that hot water I was warming up so that it can start to get melty and stretchy, and it'll be a lot easier to stretch and get that very shiny, silky, familiar look of mozzarella cheese. At first, it's very lumpy and doesn't look like mozzarella at all, and that's normal. You'll want to stretch and fold and stretch and fold, and then I like to flatten it out so that when I put it back into the hot water, the water can heat it all the way to its center more effectively instead of putting it back in there like a ball, because then I feel like the center is not as stretchy and melty and it's harder to stretch. And I'll do this 2 or 3 times. When I find that the water is not making it soft enough, I'll put the whole pot of water with the cheese in it back on the stove and warm it up a little more just to make it even more stretchy. But you got to be careful. I never put my hand straight in the water, of course. I use the spoon to scoop out the cheese. And then even when I'm holding it, I've got to air it out a little bit sometimes because it's really hot. You can tell this is where it's starting to get way stretchier and softer because the water's warmer, and it's already the 3rd or 4th time I've stretched it. So this is when you want to salt your cheese. So I always try to spread it out so that it can cover a nice surface, salt it, and then I'll fold it a few more times so that the salt distributes well. And then I kind of like roll it into itself over and over till it becomes a nice ball. And pretty much the only way to keep it shiny and smooth is to use saran wrap to wrap it in. The way you find it in the store is usually a ball of mozzarella with saran wrap just twisted tightly around it. And so that's what I do. If you know a better way that doesn't involve microplastics, please share. You've enjoyed this video and that you're inspired to try to make your own mozzarella cheese. Please let me know if you do and what you think of it. Keep in mind though, a whole gallon will only make you 2 mozzarella balls, so just soak it up, enjoy it, eat it slow, and take pride in the fact that you made it. Also wanted to share that I'm going to be reading this book over the course of the next several months, just 1 chapter a day. So if you want to join me on that, I'm excited. I've heard about it for like over a decade and I've never read it, but this is the year. And to close out, just a few beautiful nature things, a beautiful Luna moth and some beaver activity on our property We plan to set up a little deer cam to see if we spot those beavers in the night, chopping down those trees. So cute. God bless you all. Thanks for watching and see you next time.